The U.S. National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health defines work stress as the harmful physical and emotional responses that occur when the requirements of a job don't match the capabilities, resources, or needs of a worker or an employee. Work stress has been linked to negative physical and mental health outcomes, and those negative individual outcomes have impact at the organizational level in the form of higher rates of absenteeism, higher employee turnover, lower productivity, and higher medical, legal, and insurance costs for companies. So once you've identified that you are experiencing work stress or that it's a problem in your organization, how exactly do you address it? Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you individual and organizational strategies for navigating work stress. Hi, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I'm Dr. Tega Edwin. I'm a career counselor and coach, and I help women who are unhappy at work get super clear about who they are so they can find a fulfilling career and job search with confidence. I do this primarily through my two signature programs, Find Your Fulfilling Career, a small group coaching program where I help women who are unhappy at work get super clear about their values, interests, skills, and any potential mindset barriers so they can find a fulfilling career that allows them to thrive in their zone of genius and live on purpose. And for women who are looking to attain a promotion, get a new career, or just advance at work, I help them through Job Search Simplified, a community and coaching program that was designed to help you job search and secure your fulfilling career with clarity, strategy, and confidence. So when you think of strategies for addressing work stress, I want you to think of them in 3 tiers. Tier 1 are preventative strategies, so interventions that help prevent stress. Tier 2 are coping strategies, interventions that focus on developing coping mechanisms. And Tier 3 are focused on stress management. These are interventions that occur when stress has already set in, and then these are focused on treating or repairing the harmful outcomes that stressors had led to. Today, I'll share with you a couple of individual and organizational strategies for navigating stress across all 3 of those tiers. Tier 1 interventions address stress by either reducing or removing potential stressors entirely. This type of intervention is focused on addressing potential sources of physical or psychosocial stressors at work. At the individual level, some Tier 1 or preventative strategies that you can use to handle stress include better time management, so increasing your ability to establish goals, identify priorities, and monitor progress towards attaining your goals to better manage your time, and making sure that you are in an aligned role. So being in a job that is not aligned with who you are will automatically lead to higher levels of stress because you'll find that you're experiencing more role conflict or role overload, which are both causes of stress. At the organization level, some Tier 1 or preventative strategies that companies can be intentional about implementing include creating a workspace that is physically safe and ergonomically sound for employees, increasing employee participation in decision-making and work planning, increasing time and resources for completing specific job tasks, and creating clear pathways to promotion, rewards, and advancement in the organization. Tier 2 interventions address stress by supporting the development of coping strategies or skills. So coping skills refer to your ability to deal with stress situations, generally in a way that doesn't lead to negative health outcomes. Some individual strategies you can use to cope with stress or develop your coping skills include setting clear work boundaries. So what are your work hours? When and where do you respond to messages? What are the roles or tasks that you will or will not agree to take on? Adopting mindset shifts. So switching to a strength focus for yourself as opposed to focusing on your weaknesses, and identifying limiting career beliefs and shifting to liberating beliefs can all help you cope with stress better. At the organizational level, some Tier 2 interventions that companies can use to help employees develop effective coping strategies include establishing mentoring programs that provide a space for employees to receive steady support, resource support, or even potential emotional outlets. Employee resource groups, for the same reason listed before. Employee resource groups can also create safe spaces for employees to navigate stressful situations. Now, when doing this, it's important to consult the research that shows the impact of resource groups that are created based on specific cultural identity groups. Finally, organizations can implement training and education for employees around stress, its impact, the development of coping skills and strategies. Tier 3 interventions are generally implemented for employees who are already experiencing stress. So Tier 3 interventions are focused on stress management by treating or repairing harm that has already occurred as a result of stressors that were not effectively coped with. So at the individual level, some Tier 3 stress management strategies include going to counseling, so getting that emotional outlet, implementing intentional sleep, rest, and rejuvenation practices. Examining your current role for fit and alignment is critical. At this stage of stress experience, your goal should really be looking at how you can feed yourself, mind, body, and spirit to replenish what has been drained because of the stress you experience at work. Now, for organizations, some Tier 3 interventions that can help improve stress management include more flexible work arrangement as it relates to hours, remote work, and so on. Also, employee resource groups can be considered Tier 3 interventions, as company cultures that don't promote diversity often result in higher levels of stress and lower performance, and higher turnover for employees. So ERGs can reinforce the value and importance of diversity in organizations. Training for managers and leaders to help them develop effective management skills that aim to avoid re-traumatizing or increasing the stress that employees face is critical. Implementing ERGs without putting leadership in place that is dedicated to making employees feel included, valued, and less stressed is futile. I hope you'll notice that for me sharing individual and organizational strategies, neither one or the other can effectively mitigate work stress without the other one. So at the individual level, employees need to be doing what they can to develop coping strategies. However, organizations also need to be intentional about creating spaces and cultures that minimize the work stress that employees experience. In the long run, companies who do this tend to benefit because they are now experiencing lower turnover, increased productivity, increased engagement, increased motivation, and are spending less on accident and health-related outcomes. According to the World Health Organization, for every dollar that is put into treatment for common mental health issues at work, there's a $4 in improved health and productivity. So there you have it, some strategies at the individual and organizational level for dealing with stress. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, comment below what's your favorite strategy that you plan to implement. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.